So good morning, people. So welcome to this data analytics training. And today's training, we'll be learning about a reference. Okay, right. So let me just take one notepad. So in Excel, we have something called as a reference. So what is this reference? Let me tell you. When I'm actually writing a formula, we refer a cell and get the value to do the calculation. Very simple words. Refer a cell or cells to calculate. Just let's make it very simple. Let me open one Excel file. Okay. Now, let's say I want to add two numbers. I'm adding two numbers. So what I'll do, I'll add something like this. Say I have 100, I have 200 to be added. Here I'll say equals. So first method will say equals 100 plus 200. In second method, I will try to refer the cell that is and refer this plus this. Both have got the formula. Both are performing calculation, and you can see that both are giving me same results. Now, one is I am directly taking the values. The other one is I'm actually referring. Now, if I ask you people the same question, so which method you'll use to calculate this? Say if you want to do one more calculation, I'll go here, I'll say 500, 800. I'm getting the result. In method 2, what I'll do, I'll say 500 and I'll say 800. Now you tell me, if I'll ask you which method you'll use to do the calculation, you'll use method 1 or method 2? Second one, 2. Okay, method 2. Method 2. Good. So all of you will go to this method 2. The reason is the second method is actually very simple and very easy to change the values. I'm writing a formula. Here I'm writing a formula and I'm getting the results here. When I'm getting the results, both are giving me results, but the value when I'm actually changing, you can see that I'm just changing in some cell. But in this formula, I'm referring it. I am referring it. But here what I'm doing, I'm hard coding it. So whenever I hard code, every time I have to go and change in the formula. So that should not happen. It should be referred so that we can get the results properly, and also the value what I'm using in this formula should be easy to modify. So that is why it is a good practice to refer a cell or cells. So that is the topic today. So if you learn this, the next when you're actually writing the formulas, it will become more easy for us to edit, not edit, so create the formula, refer the values. All right, let me close this Excel file. I already have one Excel file. This I'll be sharing it with you, which you can use it for working on this. Okay. All right. So this Excel sheet has got an examples of how actually we can use the reference. Now, first we'll see, we understood what is reference. That is, we are referring a cell or cells to calculate. Done. Next, different type of reference. Different type of references. There are three different type of references. Let me tell you what are those. Relative, absolute, then we have mixed. Okay, if you want, you can make a note of it. Relative, absolute, mixed. I'll be sharing this notepad as well. So if you still want to make a note, please make a note. Relative, absolute, mixed. These are three different type of reference. We just understood that when I'm actually referring a cell, that means I just say equals and refer a cell. It is done. It is reference. But what are these three different type of reference? Let me tell you. Let's go to this Excel sheet and we'll understand practically what these three references mean. All right. Let me just hide these cells for time being. Go here and here. Say, I want to refer all these values in these cells. Okay, I'll say equals, and then I'll select this. You just see, I just referred one cell here, that is C6. You can just observe it says C6. I referred C6 here, I'll say enter. When I'm saying enter, you can see that the value what is there here that has been referred here. Now, if you want to go and refer this cell, I'll say equals this cell, enter. Now, if you want to do the same thing for the entire table, imagine I'm doing like this, equals this, equals this, equals this. So if you think I'm doing the same thing for the entire table like this, it will take a lot of time. And this is not the right way of referring the cells. So instead, what I can do, let me just delete all this. Just observe, I'll say equals, and I'll select this cell. If I select this cell, it says C6. I'll say enter. Now what I'll do, we just, now in the previous session, we learned about the fill handle. You can see that the fill handle. So what I'll do, I will drag it down like this. If I'm dragging it down, you can see that C6 will become C7, C8, C9, C10, C11, and it goes on. So now if you see this, the reference is changing automatically. It is changing automatically. So I referred this column C and the row number 6, and you can see that the column is not changing, but the row is changing. Let me do the same thing for my other cells. I'll just drag it towards my right hand side. See, C6, D6, E6. Now, if you just observe this in the same row, I can see that the row number is not changing, but the column name is changing. So this is called as relative reference. The reference will be keep changing as and when we copy the cells or drag the cells to another cell. Let me just delete this and I'll show you once again. Equals, I'll select this, it is C6. Now let me select the entire table and I'll say Control D, Control R. This also will work. Control D is copy down. Let me make a note of that also. Just take this so that you guys can actually use it. Say Control plus T, it is copy down. Control plus R, copy, right. Okay. So it is so easy for the entire table. Within few seconds, we can actually copy the formula. Or I can say equals cell C6. I will copy this, select the entire table, and I'll say Control V. Now I can see that the entire table we pasted. So anyways, we can actually do, even if you just drag it, say equals this cell, enter, and if I drag it down like this and drag it towards my right hand, still the reference will change. So it is left to you how actually you can copy and paste or use Control D, Control R, or you can drag it, can drag the cells, and then we can use the reference. This is called as relative reference. Now, to make it more simple, relative reference are the reference where we can refer a cell, and if we are actually copying that or dragging that to another cells, the reference will change automatically. That is what you have seen. Right. So we understood about the relative reference. I'll show you with examples as well how actually we can use this relative reference. First, we are trying to understand the different type of references. Next, suppose if we are actually trying to refer this, say I want to refer this cell, sorry, this entire column. only this column throughout, like this. Or say I want to refer only these names, any one column. Okay. Now what I'll do, or say, let me take this customer name or any one cell, any cell. Okay. If you want to refer in the entire table, the same cell, let's say we'll refer this 699 only. Okay. So this 699, I want in the entire table. In the entire table, I'll say equals and select this, say enter. Just say I'll say equals and I'm selecting this. Now what I'll do, I'll go here, I'll drag it down. It is changing. I don't want this. My requirement was the 699 should be in the entire table. So what I'll do, I'll say equals, I'll select this, say it. Again, I'll say equals, select this C6, equals this one. So if I'm doing the same thing for the entire table, again, it will take time. So what should I do? A simple thing, I'll say equals and I'm selecting this cell. I'm adding a dollar sign to column, dollar sign to row, and I'll say enter. Now, if I copy this down, you see, everywhere it will be 699. So what does this mean? I'll tell you. When I add a dollar sign here to the column and dollar sign to the row, what happens is the reference is fixed. That means the reference will not change. In the previous example, when we use this relative reference, we can see that the columns and the row were actually changing accordingly. But now, since I added the dollar sign frees the reference to change. Either it can be row-wise or column-wise. Let me do it again. Equals, I'll select this. Now, if you want to add dollar sign, I just typed it manually like this. But actually, you should not do like that. This is just to show you how actually we can refer for the entire table. I use the dollar sign, manually entering. What you have to do is press F4. If I press F4, okay, now I'll get the dollar sign here. Automatically, I'll get the dollar sign for column and the row. I'll say enter. When I say enter, that means the dollar sign is added. So you don't have to do it manually. So again, I'll show you equals, select this cell and immediately press F4. F4 is the function key, which you can see on the top row actually, the keyboard top row. For some keyboards, F4 might not work. Why? Because there are some keyboards which, for this function keys, we should use Fn. There is a function key called as Fn. In the bottom row, you can see that just next to the control key, Fn, and you can press F4. Now, I've used this absolute reference. It's called as absolute reference. I'll select the entire table, Control D, Control R. The entire table is getting this absolute reference where it is referring only one cell. Fine. So that is absolute reference. To repeat again, to make you understand in a simple words, if I want to refer a cell or a range which is to be fixed, then I'll be using this absolute reference. For this absolute reference, we need to add dollar sign for the column and the row. All right. Next, let me delete this. I want to refer this entire row, only this row. Okay. The row has to be fixed, but the column can change. Now I'll go here, say equals, I'll refer this B6. Now I want this row to be fixed. I'll put dollar sign here. You see that the row is fixed. The column is not fixed. That means you should understand, just try to understand, the column reference is changed when I copy the reference from left to right or right to left. That you should understand. That is, you can see that A, B, C, D like this. So when I'm copying the reference from left to right or right to left, the column name will change. When I'm copying the reference from top to bottom, that is like this or like this, the row number will change. That you should keep in mind. Now, if you see that I'm fixing this row number, when I'm copying this down, the row number is fixed. But the same thing, if I'm copying towards my right hand side, you can see the column is changing. So that means if there are any reference where you need to change the column and the row has to be fixed, then I can use this reference where the row number is fixed. Suppose I want one column to be fixed. Let's say this column has to be fixed. Then I'll go here, select this. I will add one dollar sign for this column. Now I'll just drag it down. You can see that the row number is changing, but when I copy this towards my right hand side, you can see the column is not changing. So this is called as mixed reference. Mixed reference means either column or row is actually fixed. Either column or row will be fixed. Now let me just show you. I'll say equals. Let me select one reference. Now I'll press F4. This is absolute. That means the row and the column both are fixed. Let me press F4. You can see that only the row number is fixed. If I press F4 again, you can see only the column is fixed. So these are called as mixed reference. So you can adjust the reference however you want. Keep pressing F4 like this. So according to the formula what we are writing, we can fix the references. Right. Let's go to this. Let's try to understand in a more simple way. Relative reference. If I'm referring a cell, okay, if I'm referring a cell, if the cell doesn't have dollar sign, no dollar sign for both row and column. Next, this is called as relative reference. When I don't have any dollar sign, that is called as relative reference. Absolute reference. Dollar sign for both row and column. Dollar sign for both row and column. Then it is called as absolute. Suppose I have dollar sign either for row or column. So if I have dollar sign either for row or column, then it is called as mixed reference. So if you see, if you are writing a formula, and if you think I want to fix or not fix or fix only row or column, you have to use these three different references. So these are called as relative, absolute, and mixed. Now we'll try to work on the formulas, that is some examples, so that it will be easy for you to understand how to use this relative, absolute, and mixed. So you can try with your formulas, whatever you are writing in your projects, assignments, or whatever. Okay, let's go. Let me unhide. Okay, first let's understand the relative reference. The requirement what I have, I'll tell you, then we'll write the formula. Now, I have one table with the sales value where I have this customer name and some categories here. So for each product, let's assume that is some category where I have the sales value. Here I have the customer name. For each customer, I have some different sales value. Now we need the discount percentage. Now assume that I want to calculate discount percentage. The formula will be this value. That is for this customer, for this category, this is the sales. Same thing for this customer and this category, we have the percentage. So this will be multiplied by this. And next, this value will be multiplied by this. You can see that for each value, whatever is there, that will be multiplied with each value in this particular table. Now, let me just copy this and put it here, the customer name. How to calculate, say, equals this sales value multiplied by this percentage value. Okay, C6 multiplied by H6. Now, tell me, what is this reference? What kind of reference is this? All of you. What kind of reference is this? C6 multiplied by H6. Quickly, I want all of you to answer. C6 multiplied by H6. Relative, okay. All right. So I feel that I made you people understand about the reference very clearly. I can see that everyone are answering it as relative reference. Very good. All right. Now I could see that all of you are mentioning it as relative reference. Yes, it is relative reference. So to easily understand, you can see that I want to change all the rows in the columns and I made it as C6 multiplied by H6 and it's a relative reference and we know that it will change accordingly. I'll say enter. Now when I say enter, you can see I'll get the reference here. I'll select the entire table. So I should not go and again say equals this value multiplied by this value, say enter. I don't have to do that. So what I'll do, I'll select the entire table, Control D, Control R. Now I can see that every cell of this will be multiplied with every cell of this table. That is a relative reference. And we should be actually bothered about changing the reference only when we copy the cells to another cell or another range. See, multiplied by this, select this, and I'll select the entire table, Control D, Control R, done. The task is done. All right. So we understood about this reference, that is relative reference, how we can actually use for multiplying from one table to another table by referring. All right. Now I have one more requirement. The next requirement is I have one table, same table, but now the discount percentage is fixed 25% for all the values here. Let it be for any customer or any category. It is fixed, 25% is fixed. I want to calculate. Now the formula is equals this value multiplied by this value. And say equals this value multiplied by this value and equals this value multiplied by this value. If you keep observing this, okay, for every cell, I go and keep on referring this. It will take a lot of time as well as it's not the right way of doing this. So what we have to do, let me tell you. I'll say equals and I'll select this cell multiplied by this cell. Now, what we have to do, okay? Whenever you're writing a formula, we should first understand the requirement. The requirement is I have one table with the sales value, which has to be multiplied. All the values has to be multiplied. But I have one percentage value here, wherein I need to multiply all the cells here. So what I'll do, we'll go here, we will select this, only this. Don't select this one, select only this particular cell, that is multiplied by this cell and press F4. Now, since I want to fix only this cell, I'm pressing this F4 and you can see that I'm getting this $H, $80. That means the reference is fixed. But if you see this C20, this C20 should become C21, 22, 23, 24, and this C20, when I copy this towards my right hand side, should be D20 and E20. Say enter. Let me select this, Control D, Control R. Done. Now if you go and select this, see, everywhere you can see that it is referring only this. So that means whenever we need a reference, or say whenever we need a cell reference to be fixed, we have to use the absolute reference. So we have to decide. Now, let's say if it was for only one cell, that is only this cell has to be multiplied with this cell, I'll say equals this value multiplied by this value. Say enter. Done. That's all. I don't have to bother about any reference because it is only one cell where the reference is taken and I don't have to bother because I'm not copying this anywhere. But I should be bothered when I'm actually copying this down. See, it is giving me the error. Why? Because C20 is becoming C21, which is right. But this H18 is becoming H19, which is not correct. It should be H18 and here it should be H18 only. So we should understand that what has to be fixed. I'll go here multiplied by this and press F4 and say enter. And let me copy this down. Control D and say Control R. So you should work on the reference. You should understand the formula. You should understand the requirement and then write the formula. And then you have to think what has to be fixed. Most of the people actually, what they do is they'll write the formula and they don't know what to fix. They'll keep on pressing something and do some R&D and finally they will get some right result and then they'll think that, okay, this is the right thing. Don't do that. But experimenting is fine, but try to understand. Now, when I'm actually working on this, for me, this cell had to be fixed, so I fixed this. Done. All right, let's go to next example. The next example is, I have the same table, but this time the percentage is changed, it's changing for each category. Previously, it was only 1% for all the categories, all the customer. But here, the percentage is changing for each category. And the categories are in column. See, you should understand this. What has to be changed? I'll say equals and I'll select this reference. And now, if I copy this towards my right hand side, C34 will become D34 and E34. And if I'm copying this down, the C34 will become C35, C36, C37. Now, I want to multiply these percentage. I will say multiplied by this. Usually what people will do, I'll tell you, they now know about the absolute reference. They'll fix this and then they'll copy this down. Again, they'll go to this next column. They'll select this multiplied by this cell, fix this, enter. And then again, they will drag it down. Again, they'll go to this cell equals this value multiplied by this cell F4, enter, and copy this down. This is how actually some of the people will do. So what happens, they think that I'm actually using this reference and I'm copying the formula to the entire table. But you just observe, when I'm doing this, I did this 3 times, which is not necessary. Let me delete this. I'll say equals this value multiplied by this value. I know that this row number 32 has to be fixed. But when I'm copying this towards my right hand side, the column reference is changing. So what I'll do, I'll say F4 and press F4. Now I know that only the row number has to be fixed. The column should not be fixed. I'll say enter. And now I will copy this down. You can see the row number is fixed. The same time, if I'm copying this towards my right hand side, you can see that H will become I and then J. So that means I'm trying to fix only the row number, but the column is getting changed. So this shows that we're trying to fix only the row number and we're not fixing the column. So my requirement was to multiply all these values, which are changing from column to column, but which is there in the same row. That means I'm just adding only this $sign for the row number. So you should start thinking like this, because all these formulas, programming, all these are based on the logics. So this makes us very easy to get the results in a very quick and simple way. Otherwise, if you're doing it manually for each column or say each row, again, it will consume a lot of time. So instead, what we can do is we can do something like this. All right. Let's take another example. I have one more table here. In this table, the percentage is changing for each customer. You can see that for each customer wise, the percentage is changing. Now what I'll do, I'll say equals this value. And then multiplied by this value. Now, if you check this, the percentage is in one column. It's there in one single column. But the row number, here you can see that the row number will be changing. But the percentage is in one single column. I'll press F4 and press F4. Again, I'll press F4. You can see that only the column is fixed. The row number is not fixed. I'll say enter. Now let me copy this down. Let's see. You can see that I'm getting this percentage along with this sales value. But when I'm copying this towards my right hand side, you just observe, see. Everywhere it is actually referring the same. So the column is fixed, the row number is changing. If you just observe all these examples, this might be a simple example, but this is actually for you people to make you understand when we should actually use what kind of references. If you're not using proper reference, and if you're doing it manually, that is referring each and every cell for the entire table or say entire range, it will consume a lot of time. So first what you should do is study the requirement. Study what is actually to be done. Then after that, try to write a formula and then see what has to be fixed, what should not be fixed. Let me show you once again this example, absolute. See, I'll say equals this value multiplied by this value. I wrote a formula. Now, you please understand and see what has to be done in this particular formula. So we'll understand that, see, this percentage is available in only one cell and that has to be used for the entire table. Then I'll press F4. That means it is fixed. They enter and select the entire table, Control D, Control R, done. If not, you should go here and have to check another formula. Here in this case, I'll say equals this value multiplied by, see, I'll select this. Now what should I do? The columns are changing because I have to refer different columns, but it is there in the same row. What I'll do, I'll say F4 and say F4. Say enter. See, select this, Control D, Control 1. Now in this case, I will go here, refer this cell, this value multiplied by this value, say F4 and say F4 and F4 because I know that only the column has to be fixed. Say enter and select the entire table. So what happens is when I'm getting some assignment or a project or some reference to be done like this or to create a formula, so we have to think at least take some time. Not everyone will be perfect at the beginning only, but you should start practicing. If you start implementing, then only it will become more easy for you to work on these kind of references. Let me also mention this F4 here. Say function F4. Okay. To change the reference. All right. Okay. So this is called as relative, absolute, and mixed reference. And year afterwards, whatever chapters we are doing. So from tomorrow, we'll be working on the formula. So tomorrow, we'll be working on basic formulas. Then we're working on date formulas, text formulas. So all the formulas. Along with that, I'll also be teaching you the new formulas. That is the new formulas in 2019 and 365. Those formulas also we'll try to learn. So I'm including all these formulas with all the examples. Please do not miss the classes, at least for next couple of classes, because we'll be learning the main thing in Excel, that is the formulas. If you learn the formulas, people, I'll tell you, for the entire Excel, whatever you're working or say, working on your projects, assignments or whatever, for data validation, we'll use formulas. Conditional formatting will use formulas. You take anything, will be using these formulas. And again, these references, what we actually fix. Okay, so these also will matter a lot for using that in conditional formatting, or it can be in your data validations, or even in the charts. So everywhere these reference will play a very important role. That means wherever you write formulas, wherever you use formulas, these references play a very important role. Okay, all right. So this is the topic what we have. We still have some time. We can have some discussions. If you have any doubts in these reference, okay, you can ask me. I will answer. So I'm stopping here. I'll be sharing this file with you so that you guys can actually try to use this, practice this, okay, after the session. And if you have any questions, please ask me. I will answer. One by one, you can ask the questions. You can unmute and you can ask, no problem. No questions, people? This is a very small topic, actually. It's a very small topic. All right. For how many of you, this is a new topic, actually? How many of you? It's a new topic. Okay. Mohan is saying, yeah, learned new topic. Prasanna, Gopi. Good. There are some people who actually learned something new today. Okay. I know there are some people who already knew this, but still, people, I'm telling you, this is the base for, or say, foundation for the formulas. So tomorrow, I'll bring some more interesting things. We have a lot of formulas to learn. I'll be teaching you many formulas, okay? There are almost more than 200 formulas. And okay, good. Good people. Good, all of you. All right. So attend the session. So in the previous session, in Weekend with Experts, I had given one file, okay, for some of them who actually, posted our certificate in their LinkedIn. So there is one file which is called as all formulas, all MS Excel formulas. So this week I'll try to have one quiz, or say some test or assignment. Then after that, I'll be giving you that book for who actually answers that. Along with that, I'm trying to get you some badges as well. Let's see how it works. If I have time, I'll try to prepare all those things and I'll update you. Last week, actually, we tried with some quiz actually, but that didn't work. So everyone cannot answer there. Let me check how actually I can make this quiz happen, and how actually you can answer, and how actually every week you'll be getting some gift from iTech Analytics Solutions. Okay, we'll try to give some unique gift which will be useful for you. Say it can be a books with the materials, or something, some projects, some data sets, something which actually makes you people more perfect in understanding this data analytics, right? Okay, all right, so let me stop here. But before we close the session, I want all of you, please take 1 minute and tell about how was this session. Please take 1 minute and tell me how was this session quickly.
Really useful and informative, sir.
Okay,
No new thing today.
very good, very good.
Yeah, good morning to all. Thing is, sir, you explained very nicely that everyone can understand very easily, boss. And I am working as a data analyst. So even though it's very interesting to learn these topics, I joined as a fresher right a few months back only. It's
Okay,
very useful to me, boss.
very good, very good. Shivanand, right? Your name?
Yes, sir. Yeah,
Which company you're working, Shivanand?
HDFC Bank, boss.
HDFC Bank. Okay, okay, very good. And I'll tell all of you, to Shivanand and anyone, these banking sectors, finance sectors are really in need of very good data analytics people. Okay, because I have trained people from HDFC, even SBI, and there are some people who actually have come from HSBC. Okay, there are so many people from banking sectors. The people I tell you this analytics, okay? Analytics is one field which every industry requires, especially people who use this Excel. It's like more and more people are actually coming into this data analytics, and Excel is playing a very important role. You can see that I'm going a little slow because I want you to understand from base and have a strong foundation. People, I don't know how many of you will become experts, but my intention of taking these sessions, okay, so that at least people from ITS who have learned, I want when they go and work, people should ask, really, this is a good thing what you have learned. You have a good knowledge. So it is not you who will be getting that good name. It is a name it will give for our institute. Okay, this is what we actually feel. And from last 10 years, we have done this. So good thing, I'm very happy that more than people getting appreciated, they're appreciating our institute. Okay, so that's what we actually think about. Thank you, Shivanand, for your valuable.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Excel is our prime boss actually here.
Yes, I know banking sectors very well, and I've trained many banking sectors as well. So that's why I'll always request people to, go ahead and master this Excel. If you master this Excel, anything, okay, any other softwares, you will find it so interesting, so easy. If anybody wants to speak, then unmute. Otherwise, please be on mute. Anybody else want to say anything about this entire?
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello, sir. My name is Santosh, sir.
Santosh.
Yeah, really, it was very useful, sir. Session.
Good.
It was very informative. So I'm working in a health insurance company, sir. I'm working as a MIS representative.
Very good. Which company, Santosh?
It is Star Health Insurance, sir.
Okay, I know.
I'm working as a MIS executive there.
Very good.
So my job is fully with Excel. Like I have got very good command on Excel.
Very
but
good.
still I want to enhance my knowledge, so I'm attending these sessions.
Please do attend. This will be in depth of Excel. It's nothing like only basics or something. I'll be doing in depth of Excel. Please go ahead, learn whatever is possible. Okay. So ITAS Asare is actually organizing this. Okay. So suppose if you are directly coming to an institute, yes, we do charge because even we have to survive. But this is sometimes actually, we keep doing these kind of trainings. Okay, this is something like we are trying to dedicate something from our institute to education. Okay,
sir.
So make utilize of these things, and if anybody is there who are really in need of these kind of things, so please do refer. So anything we can help, we'll do that.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Gopi, yes, this Excel sheet will be shared. Okay, this Excel sheet will be shared. I'll share this in the app. All of you, see, I cannot keep mailing you people. So there is a platform in this app. I'll be adding, I think, let me just see. It's there. Okay, see here. So what I'm actually doing is we'll be adding all this. See, you can see that.
Sir, I have one question, sir.
Yeah, please go ahead.
So can I get a job as a data analyst in insurance sector, sir? Is it possible? Or
yes, 100% you can actually get, provided you should keep trying. People, we also have career guidance in this particular say course. Okay, I'll tell you. See, getting job, okay, is very easy. Passing is also very easy, but going there inside and then surviving or say working, that is actually the challenging thing. For that, you should have good knowledge. And I always tell people, do not fake yourself. Do not go with some the indirect entries or something what they do. That will actually spoil your career. I know there are some people who actually prefer that, but go with your talent, go with your confidence, go with your caliber. I'll tell you, you can grow very fast. Okay, otherwise you'll have fear. And to get that job, it might take some time. It might be little slow, but that will be very strong and for longer duration. Okay. And people, there was one session, weekend with experts. Some of you have attended, who have not attended, please go and check that. There is a almost 3 hours, 3.5 hours, say video, which we have actually done. So you can watch that. It's there in the app itself or in the YouTube as well. There are some people who have attended this weekend with experts, weekend with experts. Can you actually please at least message or tell how it was actually, so that others also can be benefited with this? And again, it's completely free. Anyone? I think Bharat was there. Anyone to tell quickly?
Day before yesterday, I attended this
Oh, you
chat
attended? Okay.
GPT session.
Yeah,
sir.
yeah,
It was
chat
very good,
GPT.
sir.
So
Yeah, it was
please
very.
try to, utilize all. See, the technologies will be keep coming and going. But whenever the new technology comes, start, understanding, learning, update yourself, upgrade yourself. The more you are updated, the more you're there in the industry. Okay. Always I keep telling, no technologies will take your job unless and until you actually master it or say at least understand that. If you're not understanding, then again, see, you will be left out. That's all. That is the only thing. Otherwise, your job is safe unless and until you are upgrading yourself, updating yourself.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you for your valuable suggestions, sir.
Any others want to say anything quickly? We have another
Hello.
4 minutes.
Hello.
Yeah, Hemant, tell me.
Yeah, sir. Yeah. Yeah, and this one recently, the last week I attended that weekend with the expert. That is
Okay.
the first class. What the last week I have attended.
Uh-huh.
Really, that is a very useful. What you said, no, updating ourselves to keep up in this market in the real world, competitive
Yes.
world. That is very much needed. Being I'm a professional, I'm working in a Volvo. Recently, I'm changed. I joined and I'm working in Alstom. Alstom is a
Okay.
very big railway industry. It's one of the leading industry in the railway. So all are the
Mhm.
metro, Bangalore Metro project, bullet train projects, whatever it is there, no, Bangalore Metro, Chennai, Cochin. So all these are built by our company only. So they are very much interested in the data and collecting the data, surveying those many things really. So that's why what I'm saying, no, I'm not a science or background kind of student. I'm a what commerce, just a BCom graduate.
Mhm.
So updating myself with this one, I'm getting a very good exposure in the companies. So that's
Okay.
why what I prefer. So everybody, so learn whatever it is available. So this ITAS analytical solution is giving a best and expertise knowledge and updating ourselves. Okay, so I will recommend everyone and you guys also refer your friends and everybody, relatives, whoever they want. So everybody can get a benefited and can be there in the market. So as you know, everybody wherever wherever you feel use lot of automation is going on, robotization, AI implementation. So it is happening. So not only in one industry, in many industry, many big companies are preferring automation. Okay, previously when 10 15 peoples were working, now only they reduced to 3 4 people. So that's why, so skilled up, have a skill, almost all related skills whatever is required in your field. So that will really keep you top of the other colleagues or employees. So that's why even I'm trying to, whenever I get trying to know, so I'm keep on updating myself with these many skills. So that is the same I will recommend everyone to have and get a knowledge. Okay, go for some specialized course. And one more thing what I suggest, so sometimes what will happen in the, you have to go for some paid services, that is it is a psychological effect. Something if you are getting something like free means, they will, people will neglect and they will not get the interest. Okay, so even though if a small amount also, go for some paid kind of service, there you will get a specialized, and moreover you will get some interest to learn whatever is a topic. So that's why what I suggest, no, so ITAC analytical solution is a one point solution. They will teach everything clearly and neatly as per the industrial standards only. So that's why whatever the package is available, like data list package is there, that I have it 26 30 plus modules. It is including all the subject whatever is required. Okay, Excel, advanced Excel, VBA, Python, or SQL, SQL Server, and interview questions, and it will make you perfect. That's what I can suggest. So go and take this package and learn daily. Spend small or at least 1 hour or 2 hour whenever you get a time, no. So after 3 months or 6 months of time, you will get a master, you will get a good knowledge, you can survive wherever, in whichever field you want, you can survive aram se. So that is what my opinion, and I prefer ITAS for everyone to take the packages, bundle and practice and get trained with the expert.
Thank you so much, Hemant, for your feedback. So as Hemant was telling, it is like survival of the fittest. Okay. So the technologies will be keep coming. You should actually upgrade yourself. You should actually update yourself. Otherwise, it is very difficult to be in the industry. No
Yes, yes.
one can actually take out your jobs unless and until you are updated yourself. Okay. Because I've seen many webinars, people, there are some trainers or coaches or some institute, they are scaring people saying that the AI tools are coming, that's all, your job is gone or something. Nothing
Mm.
like that.
Yes,
Survival
yes.
of the fittest means you
Yeah,
should
updating
update
yourself. Yeah,
yourself.
yourself. Yeah,
Because
that's why in a previous year, some typewriting was there, and there was people who are very fast in typewriting. But after that, computer came. Then they are not ready to learn that computer, so they lost the job. So whoever has learned the computer, like basic thing, typing only, so they can survive. So like the same thing, the ChatGPT, whatever it is, them. So we have to update ourselves. That is only the learning, continuous learning and consistency and commitment will take you to the different level. So that's what I can say.
so that's what good, Hemant, you have brought up this one. So people, how much ever you keep learning every day, a lot of things will be there to keep learning, because technology, it will be keep coming and going, but you are the one who have to keep updating yourself. Okay. So make sure that you people will be in line with the latest technologies, keep getting updates. So whatever is possible from our side, for sure, we actually keep giving. And there are a lot of very minimal cost courses as well. As Hemant was telling, we have a bundle which actually has got 27 courses, plus we keep adding some courses for that. That is, if you think you want to learn completely about data analytics for the latest industry, you can go and you can check that. And again, we're nowhere forcing anyone to go purchase, we don't do that. That is left to you. It's your wish. If you want to update yourself, if you want to upgrade yourself, you can do that. But otherwise, this training will be there in depth with the course completion certificate will be given. So you can make utilize of this as well. And suppose if you think, if you want more than that, interview questions or any other things, I can send you the link in the group. If anybody wants to feel that they want to purchase that, it is very minimal cost. I'll give you some promo codes also for that. You can do that. But that is second. But when it comes to the technology, when it comes to the knowledge, please try to utilize this 2 months course. Try to be in the industry. And after this course, we have more other things as well. Yesterday also I got call from one of the biggest universities regarding this course. Okay, I cannot name that as of now because still the talks are going on. They want almost some 400 MBA graduates. Okay, when actually some of them actually attended this session and they are very happy and they want that university 400 MBA graduates to be actually trained on these technologies. Okay, so we actually give trainings from heart, not just to make some money or some business. The business will happen when we are really good, the quality is good, business will happen. That I will never speak about the business when we actually do these kind of training, that is free trainings for you people. So again, if you guys, anybody wants to improve, then you can still approach us. We have more other ways. Okay, so that's what I have. So this is completely a different context, but people, I hope this 2 month session, we just took the decision of this, and I can see a lot of people coming and attending. Please utilize this 2 months, the training. For sure, you guys will get a job. I have that confidence, and you should also have that confidence. To get that confidence, you should have interest. So keep in mind two things: interest and confidence should be always there with you. If you have more interest, you get more confidence. If you don't show interest, you don't have confidence. So have the interest, have the confidence, and 100% sure you'll get the job. Okay. All right. So people, thank you so much for attending today's session. So tomorrow we'll be working on the formulas. So all the formulas, I'll make a list and I'll go with the one by one examples and all the materials, all the the practice files will be also given to you. You can practice that. Okay. Thank you so much, all of you. So see you guys tomorrow in the session. Take care, all of you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Have a nice day.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Bye-bye.